Okay, let's see here. I think I have everything set up and ready to go. Population growth. You asked me if I've done the Nightwalker. I actually have. That is actually going to be next week's shorts, but we can go over it since I haven't done it as a live stream yet. So let me go ahead and switch some things around here. And I hate it when I leave that on. Yes, as we see here, Friday we'll have the Nightwalker. But I haven't done it on the live stream, so let's take a look at that first for sure. It's a good one. It was interesting. It was very surprising. All right, let me see here. So Mordenkainen's, okay, and let's see, Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Let me drop that into its own side window. And 216, so probably on 217. No, don't find. I want the page. There we go. Yes, perfect. Yeah, the Nightwalker. This was the lore behind the Nightwalker was amazing. Reading up on that and getting a little bit of information for the end of my shorts video there, really good stuff. So very interesting. If anyone uses the Nightwalker for their campaign, I'd love to know how it all goes down, because this is a just terrifying monster of how it comes into existence, to say the least. All right, so then, let's see here. I have my tools ready. I've actually got my highlighter ready to go. Let's take a look at the Nightwalker. This is a huge undead from the plane of just... I don't remember where exactly it comes from. It's like the plane of void or something. It's fantastic. And surprisingly enough, the Nightwalker has 14 AC, which is shocking for this monster. It is a huge undead, like I just mentioned, and has a hit dice of 22, coming along with 24 Constitution and some Wisdom and Charisma we don't really care about. Now, the funny part is, this should be a CR 20, but as we'll see, it might not come up into play. Alright, so now that we have our base information done, let's jump down into the skills area here. And we'll see that the Nightwalker only has one save. And because it's one save, we don't have to worry about adjusting the saving throws, and we don't get any bonus there. After that, we have the damage resistances of cold, acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder, and everything from non-magical attacks. So we could add in damage resistances, but unfortunately, because of the fact that it's a CR 20, we're not going to get any kind of bonus from the hit points here, because at this point, your adventurers should have this type of damage accounted for, or being able to break through it. So your heroes should have magical attacks of some form and other ways to attack that aren't acid, cold, fire, lightning, and thunder, which basically leaves what, force and necrotic and a couple other damage types. But then again, if we look at damage immunities, we also have necrotic and poisoning. So casters are just about out for this monster, it seems. I mean, at least with the cold, fire, lightning, they can get some damage through, unless they have ways of counteracting that. Clawpaw. Oh, was this the one CR 20 guy from the community tab? Haha, yes it is. You caught that. This is the one with the really bizarre, the bizarre chart here afterwards. All right, so let's keep going on. We have nothing else from the skills area, so we're going to go into the monster traits. And this guy, or this creature, this undead, has two traits. First one is Annihilating Aura. Now, here's the interesting thing. I've already gone through Annihilating Aura, and because it has a 30-foot AoE and a Constitution save, we're going to expect at least two, probably more, players that are going to be getting hit by this Annihilating Aura. So what we can do is come over here to Heated Body, because this is just the tab or the row for anything aura-like. Heated Body is the same thing. It's an aura type. So we'll go ahead and throw that in, and we'll have 14 times 2, because we need at least 2 players whenever we get AoEs. Already we're jumping into a CR9 territory. This is getting even higher. Now, on top of that, the Annihilating Aura has a rider, and it grants the Nightwalker advantage on attack rolls against anything that is in the aura that didn't save. And if that's the case, those are the targets your Nightwalker is going to want to be attacking, because of the constant advantage that is going to be received from this aura. So because of that, we're going to throw on Blood Frenzy from the Sahuagin. And the Sahuagin get a +4 effective attack bonus because they basically always have advantage if the player or the target doesn't have full hit points. So it's more or less the same thing. And that's why I suggest if you're using the Nightwalker against your players, always attack them in the, always attack the players that are in the aura and that were affected by it. Then you're always getting the attack bonus of advantage here. So this is going to give our Nightwalker +4 effective attack bonus, which is very close to the Nimble Escape from the goblins. So that's it for the Annihilating aura. After that, we then have Life Eater. Sadly, Life Eater does nothing except makes it completely hard to bring anything back to life that was killed by the Nightwalker. So because of that, there's really no effect, and if anything, there's no immediate effect, but there's nothing major like, is going to change the attack bonuses or the defenses of this Nightwalker. So thankfully, we're done with that, and we can move into the actions of the Nightwalker here. Now, our Nightwalker has a multi-attack of using Enervating Focus twice, or using Enervating Focus and Finger of Doom, if available. Now, right off the bat, let's take a look at what we have for its attack bonuses. Its 2 hit bonuses. And for its Enervating Focus, which is a melee weapon attack, surprisingly enough, we get +12 here. Now, pretty good. That's a really hefty way to hit and makes this a fairly accurate striker, as we can already see here in the red zone. Now, on top of that, we're also going to be dealing necrotic damage and making a constitution save on our target, which will reduce the maximum hit dice, the hit points of that character until they have a long rest. So, coming over into the workspace section, we can go ahead and add in 28.5 damage plus 28.5 more effective damage for a total of 57 damage coming from the Enervating Focus first. Now, on top of that, we also have Finger of Doom. And this one was interesting. I kind of did something a little different I don't normally do. And with Finger of Doom, we have to target, one creature it can see within 300 feet. So sure enough, this thing is going to be easily targeting someone within range. And then they have to make a wisdom save, or they take 26 points of necrotic damage and become frightened until the end of the Nightwalker's next turn. Now, we could technically probably apply Fear here, and Fear is a level 3 spell, or something along those lines of the Fear spell, and because it's a level 3 spell, if we look at average damages here, level 3 on average is roughly about 30 effective damage. So we could, in essence, also add +30 to the Nightwalker's Finger of Doom for the Frightening spell, even though technically it wouldn't add in effective hit points like Frightful Presence of Dragons would do. And then on top of that, also, the Frightening and Fear paralyzes the creatures. And Paralyze is very similar to Hold Person. If you read the description of the Hold Person spell, it paralyzes humanoid targets. And that's a level 2 spell, which would then add in 12 effective damage as well, for roughly probably around somewhere an average of 68 damage, even though we're only dealing 26 right off the bat with the necrotic damage. But because of the Fear and the paralyzing, which seems a little silly, and to be honest, it seems like it's too much, because if the target's feared, the Fear does a whole bunch of extra stuff, and the paralyze just stops them from moving. So, needless to say, it seems a little excessive, but it works. And now we can move into the multi-attack here. So we can either do the Enervating Focus twice, or we can do the Enervating Focus and the Finger of Doom. Now normally, the first time I did this without adding in the effective rider for Fear, I decided to use the Enervating Focus twice. Now, after the fact, even if I do use this with the boosted up abilities here, it's going to be within the same amount of damage, surprisingly enough. So let's go ahead and add in Attack 1 and Attack 2 to get us 125 effective damage coming from everything that it can do. And then since we don't have anything else going on here, we would then just say, all right, this is what this monster does. It just gets as close as it can, keeps people in the Fear aura, or the Annihilating aura, excuse me, and does the multi-attack every round of combat. So we're looking at 125 total damage, roughly, per round. And even if we go less, it's not going to change this much at all. And here's that crazy post I'd done on the community tab here. The Nightwalker has a DC 16 worth of DCR of hit points, but because of its low AC, it drops the actual DCR down to a 14. So this is a very spongy type of monster defensively. They have a whole lot of hit points that make up for the lack of AC. Conversely, this is an accurate striker because the two hit chance here is much higher than its base damage. So it's going to do a lot of damage, but it's going to be doing it more often because of how accurate it can hit with. And if you're wondering, let's switch this attack bonus from 12 to a DC of 21. All right, with a DC of 21, that is expected. It's within range here, and we actually slip down just a little bit for the Finger of Doom ability. And the CR goes from 19, which we had with the Enervating Focus, all the way down to just an 18. So let's take a step back here, put back on the 2-hit bonus of 12, and swap this so that the multi-attack is just 2 Enervating Focuses instead. That drops the full attack from 125 down to 114, which is still, along with the extra other things that are adding to the DPR here, we have 142. 142 is just on the bottom edge of OCR 21. So it doesn't really change the damage output, but because it's a little easier for the players to actually, possibly break a wisdom save of DC 21, probably not, the OCR drops down a little bit. So this is actually the Nightwalker CR 19. It's surprising that this is an overrated monster here. I was expecting this to be much higher. And my shorts will actually, I believe I have a quick fix for that. I don't recall what it is off the top of my head here. Let me go back to this and see what I left for the notes for this. I didn't take notes. Okay. So we found, what was it? I never remember these. 14, 23, 19. All right, and I'll put the notes in later on for whatever the fix was from this. I think it was, it was adding in 2 more saves. If we add in just 2 more saves of maybe, I don't know, strength and charisma or something, and then on top of that we add in a little bit more damage somewhere, this will bump up the DCR to a 15, and then the damage, maybe it was adding up, maybe it was making it like hit a little harder. I don't recall, but I was able to very easily get a quick fix for the Nightwalker, bringing it up to the CR20, which again is surprising. And there we have it. That's the Nightwalker. It's going to be a shorts later on this coming week. And yeah, I had someone on TikTok really pushing to see this one, and so I had to do the numbers real fast just so I could give them an answer, because they were very excited to find out what the Nightwalker was. So I wanted to make sure that they had it ready for whenever they were going to use it at the table. All right. Does anyone else have another monster they'd like to see exposed? Otherwise, I have a big list of other monsters that have been requested from TikTok and other my forum, and a couple other places as well. All right, I made the notes there, so I can go ahead and reset that. While I wait for any kind of a response, had a good day today. The family and I, we went out to a local apple orchard and went apple picking with some of our friends. Friends of my stepdaughter's best friend. We all joined up and went apple picking today. It was nice. We were only there for a couple hours before the storm clouds moved in, and now it's been raiding since then. All right. Well, I don't see any more requests at the moment, so let me take a look here and let's go over what we have. So this is this week's shorts that are coming. Well, I shouldn't say this week. This is the shorts that are coming out next week. So the Nightwalker shorts will be out on Friday, as well as the Half Red Dragon Born or Half Red Dragon Veteran. There we go, and a few others. We also have, let's see here, the Horseman of Baba Yaga. That's from Tome of Beasts. I'm going to skip that one. Let's see here. What else? Oh, Clawpaw. Technically Tearfing, but let's have some more smaller monsters. Yeah, Clawpaw. Definitely want to save that for another special occasion, because how big that stat block is, it will probably take the whole hour, just like Clawpaw did. We do have the Lizardfolk Champion. I know you had requested that one some time ago, Clawpaw, so if you'd like, we can take a look at that one. Where was that from? I think that was probably the Monster Manual, right? Let's see. Chosen One, hello. Thanks for joining the live stream. We just finished up the Nightwalker, as you can see on screen here. If you'd like a quick recap, it's actually an overrated monster at challenge rating 19. Yes, Clawpaw, we will definitely look and pull up the Lizardfolk Champion and get that one taken care of for you. Chosen One, if you have any requests for monsters to be exposed, let me know in the chat and I will get to it next. Let's see here. Where can I find that? Okay, so Lizardfolk. Where is that one hiding? Huh. Have I done the Solar? Solar. No, I haven't done Solar yet. Let's see here. Oh, Celestial from the Monster Manual. Yeah, I'll add that into the list next. Let's see here. 21 Solar Monster Manual. Okay. Interesting, Clawpaw. I'm not seeing a Lizardfolk champion. I got the regular champion, a Sahuagin, and a Troglodyte champion of Leogzed. But those are all from different ones. Let's see here. Maybe that's a custom homebrew? Okay, we got something from Pathfinder. Let's see. Well, thanks, Chosen One. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. Let's see here. What else? Noble Knight. Let's see here. 5e. Stat blocks. Lizardfolk Champion and Lizardfolk. Maybe. Maybe you did, Clawpaw. Let's see here. Yeah, this is the closest thing we have here. And I'm totally for doing, throwing up a homebrew here. Because as we've seen with some homebrews, they can go way overrated, way underrated. We've got this one here. Is this the one you were referring to, possibly, Clawpaw? Hit points. Looks like I can work with this, if this is the case. Lizardfolk Black Spawn. Interesting. Yeah, because I'm not seeing anything else that would be official Lizardfolk Champion. Okay. All right, let's pull this over here then, and we will take a look at this homebrew here for the Lizardfolk Champion. All right, so this should be a CR3, and it is a medium humanoid. Let's see here. armor class is 16. It's got, oh, let's not mess with that. 8d8 hit dice. Do we have the scores? Modifiers. Okay, so +2 Constitution bonus. So that would be what? 14? So at least a 14. And do we have... No. Oh wow, look at that. Even their hit points are off. Interesting. So right off the bat, I've got the hit dice correct and the modifier, but they missed the half dice. It should be 4.5. Let's see here. Real quick, let's pull up the calculator because they have 48 hit points, which would be 4 times... Oh, no, it's just straight 8 times 8, right? Come on now. 8 times 8. 60. Wow. Where did they get 48? All right. That's wacky. Oh, no. 4 times 8 plus 16. That, yeah, they forgot the half hit dice. So when you're calculating the hit points, you always take the halfway point plus half a die. So this would be 4.5 times 8 plus 16. 52. That's where you get the correct amount of average hit points. Yep, they jumped the hit dice there. Chosen one. Exactly. All right, so now that we have that all sorted out and we have our base information out of the way for its defenses, let's take a look at any kind of special traits here. Do we have any special traits? No, they don't. All right. Well, they do. They have a couple here. So they have skills, hold breath, which don't matter, and some backstory. Yeah, the miscellaneous stuff. All right, so it looks like there's no special traits for the champion here. So we can jump right into its attacks. And that will leave, let's see here, +6 to hit, which should be correct because it's, let's see here. Yep, 3 strength and proficiency bonus of, no, +6 to hit is incorrect. This should be +5 because at this level, for a CR3, which this is what we're expecting here, CR3 should be a proficiency bonus of 2. So right off the bat, that +6 to hit is incorrect because it's either coming from strength or dexterity unless they were a spellcaster, and then that would be from somewhere different. So the range attacks and the melee attacks should all be +5 to hit. So we'll go here and do that. And then let's see here. Lizardfolk champion may make 2 attacks, one with its attack action and one with its Makahuatl, and one with its bite. Alright, so it can do all 3 of its attacks, basically. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Excuse me. In one... Oh, that's worded really weird. Okay, so one with its special piercing weapon and one with its bite, or it can make an ranged attack. Alright, so let's see here. We have first the ranged attack of 3.5 plus 3, so that would be 6.5 piercing damage there. Yes, Chosen, you see here. Yeah, you still need to add the proficiency and strength or dex. I don't think they understood how creature building worked. Yeah, rest in peace for sure. Well, we'll see what happens here. Let's see what else. It could surprisingly be really accurate. Who knows? The piercing weapon here. The Lizardfolk champion's wooden sword is set with razor sharp obsidian blades. Okay, so it's this up here. That's this Makahuatl. Makahuatl. Interesting. It sounds... I don't even want to guess. Alright, so inflicting 1d10 plus 3 slashing damage, which is proper because that's coming from the... Yeah, alright, so that's coming from strength. Okay, cool. So this will be 5.5 plus 3, so we're looking at 8.5 for that sword type, or basically a short sword. And then its bite will be 1d6. Alright, so it's the same as the spear. So we're looking at 6.5 there as well. So the multi-attack is simply the spear and the bite attack for 15. And that's all it's really going to be doing to get the most damage from combat every round. So we'll just multiply that times 3. And surprised, it's overrated. We actually have an overrated homebrew monster here. Shocking. So the monster's definitely in striker territory here. In order to fix this, I would just add in a third attack here. Maybe 1 bite and 2 of the spear that it has, or the sword, whatever you want to call it. So let's see what happens here. If we add in U3 times 2. No, that still doesn't do it. Interesting. Well, it does bring up the damage here a bit, so what else would we want to do here? Increasing its strength would be the next best thing after that, because this is supposed to be a basic champion for the Lizardfolk, nothing too terribly special. So if we increase it from, let's say, 5 to 6, let's see what goes on there. Now we have a CR3 Lizardfolk champion. Clawpaw, let's see here. Fun fact, did you know that such weapons were not built to kill, but to damage down the target so the victims would be sacrificed later? Tight, yeah, not surprised, to be honest. I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised. Oof. Okay, so here's a quick fix for this Lizardfolk. Add in a second attack with its this sword that it has here, so it can swing it twice and then goes in for a bite. And on top of that, increase the strength, which would also increase the damage just a little bit. So if we increase the strength enough to give a +1 on that, that would also increase all of these by 1 as well. So this would be 7, 9, and let's see here, 7. So let's see, how does that affect anything? Cool, doesn't affect anything. Everything stays the same. We have somehow, just barely, I see how we get it. We have ourselves an accurate striker of a Lizardfolk champion. Not much on the way of defenses if we keep all that low where it is, but we could find a CR3 Lizardfolk champion this way. Otherwise, you could just use it as a CR2. That would be the easier route right there. So let's go back and fix all this. Yeah. If we add in... Does that still have the second? Yeah, let's get rid of that multi-attack. Okay. If we use it as is, just mark it as a CR2. If you want it to be a CR3, then you would add in the extra multi-attack and increase the strength, and then just modify damage, the average damage that way as well. Otherwise, you know, just stick with the CR2. That's the easier route, to be honest, since it's a homebrew. But a good one too, nonetheless, for sure. All right. Now we have that one set up. Let's see here. That one was a homebrew. So let me see here. It's supposed to be a 3. And let me get that website for here so I have that later on. Excellent. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. There we go. All right, let's take a look at the Solar from the Monster Manual. Gonna reset some stuff here. And let's see here. Gonna pull up my books for the Monster Manual. Okay. And then let's see here. Monsters. Hopefully it's in the right... Well, you know what? Index stat blocks. This would probably be the faster route. And let's see here. Oh, what am I doing? Dope. Come on now. Forgot about my side page here. Page 18. Okay. So let's go to 19. There we go. Excuse me. All right, we have a nice beefy stat block here for, looks like a legendary celestial being. And let's see here. All right, so we have the Solar, a large celestial. This celestial has 21 AC. As I said before, it is large. with 18 D10 hit dice and a 26 Constitution. And again, it should be CR 21. Let's see what happens here. All right, all the basic information's out of the way. We'll jump down into the monsters skills area. And we find that it has, what is that, 3 saving throws of intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So all the low end stuff, not low end, but the bottom end of the stat block area, giving our Celestial a +2 effective AC bonus. After that, we do have a whole bunch of resistances, but because it is a CR 21, it's going to get no benefit from having that many. And on top of that, we also have necrotic and poison immunities, but because it's not 3, we're going to skip over that for now. And that is it for the skills section. We'll now move into the monster traits area. And we have angelic weapons. The Solar's weapons are magical and they deal an extra set of damage, which is included into the attacks. So let's just take a quick look at the attacks here. Yeah, so everything's there. The funny part is I have the section here for angelic weapons, but the stat block always reads, it's in the attack action. It's in the attack action. I don't necessarily understand why they bother writing all this out then. Doesn't make sense. So, angelic weapons are going to be handled later. Divine awareness. The Solar knows if it hears a lie. Cool. Doesn't help us. Moving on. Innate spellcasting. Not surprised. So let's see here. Spell save DC of 25. It's based off charisma, which is a 30. Jeez. And let's see here. At will can detect evil and good and invisibility for itself. On top of that, we have Blade Barrier, dispel evil and good, resurrection, and then once per day it can commune and control weather. Okay. Blade Barrier is probably going to be helpful for this. So let me take a quick look and see what Blade Barrier might be. Let's see here. Bear with me while I look up this spell real quick. Come on, give me what I'm looking for. A little bit more. Come on, you're almost there. Alright, 6th level spell. And let's see here. Alright, so it's 6th level. Let me see. I'm sure I have it set up in here already. In my averages and whatnot. And Blade Barrier. Excellent. 66 points of damage. So that's getting to 2 targets. So yeah, we will definitely be using that for sure. And it's a concentration spell. So that's going to be adding in damage. So let's go ahead and add that in for our workspace section already. And let's see here. So we'll put that just down here for now. So we're getting 66 damage. Ooh, rolling over my headphones. Nice. We're getting 66 points of damage from the Blade Barrier spell as long as 2 creatures are within its range. That's what we're expecting. All the other spells aren't going to be helping us. Control weather would probably be helpful, but I'm not too worried about that right now. And invisibility would be effective DPR, even though it does take its action to cast invisibility. So we're going to skip over that for now and just move on to everything else. After that, we also have magic resistance, and that's going to be an additional +2 effective AC bonus for the Solar. And that's it for the monster traits. So we'll move on to the attack actions, or actions in combat. And the Solar will make 2 greatsword attacks as its multi-attack. So we'll move on to the greatsword. And I'm going to quickly scan through and see that we have a +15 to hit with the greatsword, +13 for the longbow, and flying swords and healing touch. Oh, cool. Healing touch. Excellent. All right. Well then, switching over to the workspace section here, I'm going to put in the 2-hit for the greatsword. Let's see here. Chosen one. Yeah, it's a bit complex with what it can do. I'm interested to see what it comes up to. Yeah, this isn't terrible so far. I like that it has a whole bunch of different things it can do with its action, though. That's going to be fun. So let's see here. Getting back to the greatsword, which we can do twice. The greatsword will be dealing, let's see, 22 points of damage plus an additional 27 radiant damage. I can do that twice for 98 total damage per round. The slaying longbow will deal 15 piercing damage plus 27 radiant damage if the target is a creature that has 100 hit points or fewer, must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or die. Fun. Alright, so there is a rider there. That would be handy probably later on in battle, because that's effective damage that it will deal. So if, let's see here. If the target is a creature that has, so it has to be targeted first with 100 hit points or less. Wow, alright, so that's going to be fun. Alright, let's come back to that one in a minute. Hopefully I don't forget about it, and if I do, someone please remind me. We have Flying Sword. Let's see what this does. Solar releases its great sword to hover magically. Not its great sword, their great sword. Solar releases their great sword to hover magically in an unoccupied space. If the Solar can see the sword, the Solar can mentally command it as a bonus action to fly up 50 feet and either make one attack against a target or return to the Solar's hands. If the hovering sword is targeted by an effect, the Solar is considered to be holding it. The hovering sword falls if the Solar dies. Cute. So this would allow the flying sword to be part of the bonus action and allowing the slaying longbow to be used as well. So that's going to be handy, but it takes an action to set up. So it might not be great unless there's a way to mitigate that all in all. I mean, if anything, you're just going to get the flying, you're going to get the, you're getting that damage once, and that's it. And then after that, you can start using the slaying longsword or longbow as well. And then the healing touch will just heal damage. So we're not going to worry about that one there. So for the time being, I'm just going to suggest the multi-attack of 2 great swords for now. We'll see what happens a little later on after we put in legendary actions and whatnot. Oh yeah, yeah, it's fun. Looks like it is. Be an interesting one to have, like the Solar somehow as corrupted, you know, having it as like a corrupted enemy or something for your players to go off and try and either restore or encounter one way or the other. All right, now let's take a look at the legendary actions. So we have Teleport. Solar magically teleports along with any equipment it's wearing or carrying up to 120 feet. Not going to help here, but it could be similar to the not blink, what is it? The teleporting, the quick teleporting spells. It's going to be some effective DPR, but probably not nearly as good as some of the others. So let's skip over that for the time being. Dimension Door. I think that's what I was thinking about. Dimension Door. What spell level is that? Alright, come here. Let's see here. Dimension Door is a 4th level spell. So real quick, let's take a look at that. And could be 28 effective damage here. So just for the heck of it, we will say 28 for teleporting, which it could potentially do 3 times, but I'm sure Searing Burst and Blinding Gaze will probably be better options. So Searing Burst for 2 actions. The Solar emits magical divine energy. The creatures of its choice in a 10-foot radius make dex saves, taking fire and radiant damage for that. Cool. Alright, so let's see here. That would be 14 plus another 14. And then that would be... Alright, yeah, hold up. I gotta multiply that because we were expecting 2 targets. So that times 2. And then it could teleport. Yeah, let's add in the 28 for the teleporting as well. Because if we do the teleport times 3, if we just teleport all the time in the combat instead of doing the other ones, we're looking at 84 effective damage from teleporting all over the place. But with Searing Burst, we could potentially... Oh, yeah, we don't want to do that. Shoot, let's see here. What was it? 24? I totally just forgot how much that was worth. Bear with me a second. 28, excuse me. Oh, wow. So, Searing Burst and 1 teleport is effectively the same as just doing 3 teleports. Was not expecting that. Let's see what Blinding Gaze does. Like Misty Step or Dimension Door. Thank you, Chosen One, yes. And I would probably go with Dimension Door because it's a CR21. All right, blinding gaze. The solar target's one creature can see within 30 feet. The target, if the target can see it, the target must succeed on a con save. Ooh, excuse me. Con save or be blinded until magic. Oh, wow. Or be blinded until magic such as the Lesser Restoration spell removes the blindness. So this is permanent blindness. Wow. Clawpaw says, yeah, imagine being able to teleport and deal fire radiant damage. Hahaha. Yeah. We kind of saw that with some of the those new Inquisitor style characters from Ravenloft, the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. That one swordsman that can just teleport all over the place was absurd. All right, blindness and deafness. Let's see here. Blindness and deafness is a level 2 spell, but it's permanent, and level 2 would be 12 effective DPR. Oh man, there's no real easy way to gauge blinding gaze. And blindness is what? Just, it's going to cause disadvantage and advantage back and forth. I'm going to have to go with no immediate effects for the blinding gaze. And I'm going to skip that for the time being because I don't really think that's going to help much at all. So with that out of the way, let's move into the rounds of combat. Chosen One says, I feel like flight with teleport is kind of OP though. Oh yeah, of course. Being able to teleport and fly? Sure. And 150 feet no less, being able to fly. Disadvantage and half movement. Yeah, that's a lot of effective DPR for the blindness condition. But it's tricky. I could see that being super helpful if combat's going to go on for a long time, but we're only really expecting 3 rounds of combat usually. So still going to skip blinding gaze for the time being and see how everything else shows up, just for the heck of it. Now, because of the blade barrier, what was it? Yeah, the blade barrier spell, I would suggest casting that on the very first round of combat. And then on top of that, we could do either legendary actions. Because after that, once we start doing that, we can then jump into, okay, we have the blade barrier up, so we're going to constantly get that unless we lose concentration, which hopefully we don't. Then we can also do the multi-attack, and we do the legendary actions. So once we do that on rounds 2 and 3, wow, we're actually right at CR21. I'm shocked. Honestly shocked. We could fiddle around with this a little bit and say like, oh, we could use the slaying longbow too. And that slaying longbow would probably put this over the top a little bit for sure on the second round of combat. So, but that would take time to build up to as well. So it could be worthwhile to use that. It really depends. So right off the bat with how I found it, base, we're looking at CR21, surprisingly. That's not gonna lie. Yeah, baseline, this is a CR21. But because of that slaying longbow and the healing touch and the blinding gaze, I would expect combat to go much longer than 3 rounds, probably anywhere between 5 to 6 or more. And then we could start doing the flying sword combo with the slaying longbow to really start to pick off players or monsters of whatever. But at least this way, we have a CR21. I'll take a look at this later on when I make it into a shorts and see what we get from there. But more than likely, this is probably pretty accurate. But yeah, CR21 so far. Fantastic. Good choice there, Chosen One. Like it. That was a fun one. All right, we've got about 15 minutes left for the live stream. Is there any other monsters we'd like to see that are quick? Otherwise, I can default back to my list and pick one from there. Oh, let me see here. Yeah, I'll take care of that later on. Let's see. Ooh, excuse me. Club Solar, CR21. Andrew, you stupid. List time. Okay. So we have someone requested the Body Taker plant from Van Richter's Guide to Ravenloft. We also have another homebrew, it looks like, the Bearing Golem. What else? Let's see here. It would be a cool monster to fight. Yeah, for sure. That's why I would suggest somehow like a demon or a devil corrupts the Solar somehow. I do, yes. I do Kobold press stuff. I've done a whole bunch from the Creature Codex. I actually have the Horsemen of Baba Yaga lined up from the Tome of Beasts. Do I have anything else? Yeah, I've done a whole bunch. For a while there, I was doing Creature Codex Wednesdays. And I still do that, as you can see here. I just haven't lined up anything. I've had a backlog that I needed to get through. So I could do Kobold Press as well. And while we're looking around, we have the Barghest. That would be a pretty good one. Something a little on the quick side, probably. Shield Guardian. The Githzerai Enlightened was interesting. Let's see here. The Queen of Night and Magic. I don't believe I have. Let me see here, because I have my list of what I've gone through, and some of them I was actually. Let's see here. Yeah. I've done the Animal Lords already. Tome of Beasts. Oh, then I definitely haven't, because I've only touched those 5 from the Tome of Beasts so far. For a little while here, I was going through, starting with the A's and going through the whole book and just finding out all the information. But I got really exhausted doing that, so I kind of stopped in the B's, working through that list. So I've just been kind of doing them off and on here and there. Clawpaw says, "Dang, Andrew, don't you have a kobold explosion? Maybe something that shows them in actual battle." Maybe. I haven't gotten quite yet. Haven't gotten there quite yet, Clawpaw. When that video is going to drop, probably sometime this week. Though I wanted to get some impressions from other people first. The Queen of Night and Magic chosen one. I'm gonna hold off on that because I'm sure that one's gonna take some time, and I'm running out of time a little bit right now. Yeah. Chosen one says, "Mini monsters, I get you. That's fair." Yeah. There's a lot more in that book than I thought there was at first, because I looked at the index, and that's where I got my list from. And then when I started going through the books, I was like, oh no, there's like sub-spots and sub-spots of all these other things. So I was like, ooh, this is going to take a while. All right, let me grab something a little quick here from the main list that people have been requesting, and we'll go from there. Let's look at the Barghest from Volvo's Guide. I like Barghests because of my addiction to Descent Journeys in the Dark 2nd edition and 1st edition from that board game. Really fun game. What am I looking for here for? Volo, there we go. The Barghests in that game are much different than the Barghests here. 123, so 124. Perfect. All right, let's take a look at the Large Fiend, the Barghest. And Chosen One, thank you for understanding. Let me add that in as a bit of a request here. Queen of Night and Magic, Tome of Beasts. I'll throw that in. All right, so we got this crazy Barghest monster fiend looking thing. Oh, it's a shape changer. Oh, fun. Okay. Let's go back to the tool. And the tool was reset already. So we have the Barghest, Large Fiend of, let's see here, AC 17. Large, like I said, with a 12 D10 hit dice, Constitution of 14, and it should be a CR4. Let's see how that works out. And with all the base information out of the way, we then have its skills section area. Bunch of skills, don't care. We do have damage resistances to cold, fire, lightning, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. So let's add the resistances in. And that will give us 2 times the hit points for a bonus. And then we also have damage immunities to acid and poison. Don't really need to worry about that, especially since the low CR is going to be the same bonus regardless. After that, we're moving into the monsters trait section, and we have Shape Changer, which doesn't matter. The Barghest can use its action to polymorph into a small goblin or back into its true form. Cool. We'll skip past that because there's going to be no effect from that. After that, we have Fire Banishment. When the Barghest starts its turn engulfed in flames that are at least 10 feet high or wide, it must succeed on a charisma saving throw or be instantly banished to Gehenna. Instantaneous bursts of flame such as a Red Dragon's Breath or Fireball spell don't have this effect on the Barghest. Huh, okay. Interesting. So that's an easy way to get rid of the Barghest if you have to fight it. But no effect. It'll just end combat sooner. That's all. After that, we have Keen Smell. Doesn't affect the monster. And Innate Spellcasting. Wow, we are really winning with this one here. Innate Spellcasting. It's got a DC 12 save and works off of its Charisma, which is a 14. And we have Levitate, Minor Illusion, Pass Without Trace. And once per day, we have Charm Person, Dimension Door, and Suggestion. Those will probably end up helping out the Barghest, if anything. So let's see here. What do we have for its actions? Not much, as it would seem. How is this going to be... How is this already a CR... Oh my goodness. Oh, that's how it's a CR4. Oh jeez, it's already a 4. Wow, okay. So, we have 2 attacks. We have Bite and we have Claws. They're both using +6 to hit. And... Ooh, let me fix that. And then after that, we have... Let's see here. The Bite deals 13 points of damage in its true form, or its Claws of 8 damage. So we're going to go with its true form and use that since that is the most damage we have here. And that's going to be 13. We'll add that in. And without even adding in spells, we're already at a CR5. So this is an underrated Barghest. Our Barghest is printed CR4. We found a 5. It's a striker. No, it's not a striker. Excuse me. No. It's a tank. It's a big time tank. So if you need a tank for your goblins, this is the monster you're going to want. Just your basic tank. It's not, defensive or spongy. Very, very basic tank with very low damage output. So this is a stalling monster. This is a monster you want to stall for some reason. Maybe to do some kind of a trap or spring a trap, excuse me, or do something else with the Barghest. Wow. Oh man. Okay. But still somehow works out to be a CR5. Sure. All right. Let's see here. Let me take a note of that quick. Barghest. And it was what? 2, 8, and 5. Right. Goodness. 2, 8. Excuse me. 8, 2, 5. And it's underrated. I'll look at some kind of a quick fix later on, but it's going to be just dropping the hit dice. That's going to be the easiest for fixing the Barghest for sure. All right. 5 minutes left. Do we have anything possibly quick? Could look at the Shield Guardian quick. Let's take a quick stab at the Shield Guardian, see if that does anything. 271. Let's see, is this a big one? Nope, this is pretty basic. Let's do the Shield Guardian real quick for the last few minutes of the live stream. And we'll go from there, and we'll end the night out. Alright, Shield Guardian, large construct with 17 AC. As I said before, large. 15 hit dice, constitution of 18, and should be a CR7. Alright. With that out of the way, we do have some stuff in the skills area of condition immunities, which don't matter, and only damage immunities. I'm getting tired, my mouth is very dry. damage immunities to poison, so we have nothing here to worry about. So we'll move into the monster traits area, and we find that we have bound. Shield Guardian is magically bound to an amulet as long as the Guardian and its amulet are on the same plane of existence. The amulet wearer can telepathically call the Guardian to travel to it. Blah, blah, blah. I actually used this monster not too long ago with my main group, but didn't take into the account of the bound thing. I just used it as is. Surprisingly enough, well, the bound has no effect. Surprisingly enough, the Shield Guardian has regeneration. And the regeneration is going to add in 10 hit points, provided it has at least 1 hit point. And then we also have spell storing. The spellcaster who wears the Shield Guardian's amulet can use the Guardian to store 1 spell of 4th level or lower. And yada yada yada. What else do we have here? The spell has no effect to store the Guardian when commanded to do so by the wearer or when a situation arises that was predefined by the spellcaster. The Guardian casts the stored spell with any parameters. So it's a walking trap, if anything. I didn't use that portion of it. So let's move into its reactions. It does have actions and reactions. While we're here, let's take a look at the reactions of Shield. When a creature makes an attack against the wearer of the Guardian's amulet, the Guardian grants a +2 bonus to the wearer's AC if the Guardian is within 5 feet of the wearer. So that's not going to help the Guardian whatsoever. And we're just going to go into the multi-attack then. And into the workspace section, our Guardian has a +7 to hit and is doing 2 fist attacks. So let's see here for its multi-attack. And that's 11 points of damage. So easily it's just going to be straight 22. And we have a CR6. Surprising. This is actually an underrated monster. Although it did take my group many turns and some paranoia of almost losing a couple players to the Shield Guardian. I did have a good couple hits. It's actually overrated by one level. Surprising. Very surprising. It's supposed to be CR7, and I found a 6, excluding the spell storing. That's probably where the extra is coming from here. So if you were to add in something that would give it, I don't know, a little bit more damage maybe output, it could do the spell storing once, and maybe it has, I don't know, a fireball in it. That could be really fun to use. But this is a little weird with the spell storing. I'm not going to officially say this is permanently overrated. It's possible that it is even rated depending on the spell that's stored in there. And we'll call it there. Let's see here. What did I find? Definitely a tank, defensive tank, because of the AC is hard to hit it. And it is a bit of an accurate striker too. So it's definitely a tank for sure, just as we would expect. So that's what, 8, 4, 6 so far. And let's see here, Shield Guardian. 8, 4, 6. Rating, I'm going to leave that as question marks, and spell storing could drastically change CR. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Okay, and that is the live stream. Chosen One. Let's see here. Nice dude, thanks for doing the Solar. Look forward to seeing more of your content. Every day. I've got something coming out every day at least. You know, I have 1 shorts per day every week, and then occasionally I have the recaps of the live stream. And as Clawpaw knows, I do have a special video that's coming out probably later on this week. I'm not entirely sure what day I want to put it out, but it's a fun one. I had a lot of fun putting it together. It took me a long time to get it there, and I hope everyone enjoys it. Should be good. But yeah, thank you all for joining, Clawpaw and Chosen One. It was great having you here and seeing some of these other monsters that are available to us for us to use. And yeah, thanks again. It was fun. Let's see here. Clawpaw was a very nice stream, as usual. Thank you, Clawpaw, for joining, and Chosen One, again, thank you both for being here. You guys are awesome. And this is me, Andrew, asking, are your encounters even rated? Good night, everyone, and have a great rest of your weekend. Clawpaw, release it on Thursday, the Kobold Day. I could. Let me. I'll definitely look into that. Thursday could be a good day to release that. All right, everyone. Clawpaw, I know it's wicked early for you, so enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, hi, Calmat. Did not see you there. Thanks for stopping by, and have a good night. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Chosen One as well. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you all next time.